Hi UND alumni, donors, friends, and supporters. Thank you so much for all your support and donations to UND.
How have you been helped by the generosity of alumni and friends of UND?
I've been helped by the generosity of alumni and friends and donors to UND in so many different ways, mainly tennis and school. I get to play the sport that I love, keep playing it, and I get to travel, I get to meet different people. I get to improve in my sport, and on the school side I get to complete a law degree that will help me in my goals. So one day being a lawyer, their generosity has helped me reach that goal. So
Great. So are you on tennis scholarship then?
yes, I'm on the tennis scholarship
Okay.
for UND.
Tell me a little bit about your background. How did you end up at UND? Just kind of tell me your story.
Okay, yeah. So I grew up, I was born in Israel, and I lived there until I was 5 years old. My parents then moved me and my sister to Maryland. We lived there for a couple years, and then I started tennis right when we moved to Maryland when I was 5. And so I kept competing professionally. My dad was a professional basketball player growing up, so he kind of encouraged me to play tennis and be professional at it. So every single day we would train for hours. On the weekends we would travel for tournaments. But my mom, on the other hand, she has a PhD in math education, so completely other end of the spectrum. She always encouraged me to be really good in school and prioritize education. And so I kind of had that great balance from a young age. And so growing up in Maryland for a couple years, I kind of did both all the time. Until I was 12 years old, I did really well in tennis. I was ranked 22 in the country, and that's when my dad decided, okay, we should move to the central location of tennis, and that is Florida. So we moved to Florida, and in Florida I continued training tennis and school until when I was 15. I just finished my first year of high school. I ended up getting really good grades. I was valedictorian of my high school, and people encouraged me, oh, you should apply to this really cool program where you can get college credits from a young age. And so I applied to this program, and I started going there to this school. I transferred, and for the 3 final years of high school I took college credits. And after taking those college credits, I realized, well, I have only 1 year to finish college and 3 years of eligibility to play a sport and do something else. And so I talked to several coaches around the country, and the University of North Dakota coaches were just so helpful and supportive, as well as the athletic staff, to be able to fit in those 3 years law school, which is not very traditional, but it worked out.
Awesome. So what is, you're here tonight and you're going to speak to donors and friends of UND at an event. What is your message going to be to them? What are you going to say to them tonight?
Tonight, my message to donors is a big, big thank you for their incredible generosity and the exponentially positive impact that they've had on my life. And the biggest thing that I've gotten out of this is, financial freedom and independence. And out of school, I'll be graduating at 22 years old with 3 degrees that I'll be able to go out in the real world and use them and have this independence where I can choose the job that is my passion and my happiness without worrying about the money. And I think that's what a healthy society needs, is people who do what's passionate to them and what's exciting. And so I'm really lucky that I'll be so fortunate to be in that position after school.
That's awesome. And that's really one of the other questions I usually ask students, but you kind of answered it there. But you can take another crack at it if you want, but it's just, what would you say to a donor when you got the chance? But that last question kind of covered it, so if you don't want to go through that again.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to speak to a donor, I would thank them for giving me the opportunity to follow my dreams. And aside from financial independence, which is remarkable, I also get to travel and continue the sport that I love. I get to meet people. I get to have that respect of being a student athlete. And being in law school, graduate school, it's phenomenal. I mean, I would just thank them for me being here and even talking to them. So thank you. Hi donors, thank you so much for your generosity to the University of North Dakota. We are forever UND. We are leaders in action. We are innovators.
Perfect.
All right.
Yeah.
I think that's probably